Hi, this is Mark Kaufman, Blackboard Senior Partner Software Engineer. I'm making this video for newcomers to Blackboard and newcomers to building a Blackboard Learn AMI. If you've not done this, or if you're trying to do it and having some problems, especially with the part about getting your AMI on the public internet so that you can access it from the public internet. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to follow the instructions exactly on this page. We've had a couple of things. One people have had issues with this. Part of it is the wait step. You need to wait until your Blackboard Learn system is up and running and you've validated that it is up and running, and then and it takes a while for it to get started running. It takes about 10 minutes sometimes. So if you try to configure your SSL config before that, you'll probably break the AMI, and then you'll want to basically delete what you've got and start over fresh. So if you've gotten to the point where you're stuck and you're not getting your able to get your domain name set up correctly, then do what we described in this video exactly as described. Once you get your AMI up and on the public internet following these instructions, then you can fiddle around with it. Maybe clone it in the Amazon and work with a copy so that you can mess with your domain name provided by some other means than no IP and Let's Encrypt. So let's get started now. I'm going to show you exactly how to follow this process that works, and it works every time. And once you've got this down, then you can move on to doing other ways of configuring your domain name. So here we go. I'm going to go to my Amazon console, and I'm going to pick an AMI. We've got all of ours here. You're going to use the marketplace one most likely is how you're going to do it, and then I'm just going to launch it. And I always use a large instance. Don't try the smaller ones. They typically will have issues. They'll crash unexpectedly and give a 502 gateway error. So this is a good place to get started at avoiding that issue. And then we're going to configure the instance details. The storage is fine. The tags are fine. Now the security group I'm going to use is one where we've opened up everything. Let's see. We want to select an existing security group. Oh, I forgot something. We want to go back here to, okay, we're just going to cancel and start over again with our 3913 or 19 AMI. That's our current version out in the marketplace. You'll be using the one in the marketplace. We're going to launch that, and we're going to pick large. I forgot this. We want to switch this here to. For my case, I think on the marketplace you'll be fine, but we're going to use this. We're going to skip the add storage. We're going to skip the tags. We're going to configure a security group. And what I've got for this group is I've got one where I've opened everything up. So we want to use something that is pretty open. You can see. Let me show you the for open it all. We've got port 80, you know, all IPs will come on in. I've got SSH. I can SSH in. I've also got this for our. You can set up Learn with the debugger, and I've got that set up. Of course, probably you'll be doing LTI and REST development. You don't need to do the Learn debugger setup, but we had that for some old Java stuff that we had that's now deprecated. So and then of course HTTPS. So now we're going to review and launch, and I think I can just launch it at this point. I'm going to hit launch. I'm going to select a PEM file that I know I've got, and you probably download your PEM file so that you can SSH in. And now I'm going to launch. Now right here, even though very soon I'll be able to SSH into the back end, I don't want to do the SSL config yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just edit the name here. and we'll just call it kaufman3900.zapto.org. We'll hit save. Now you notice we've got an instance ID, and I think we're there down here. So I'm going to make note of this. I'm going to copy my instance ID and put it here. And I also, the other thing that I need is the public internet address. So I'm going to copy that and put it here. So now I can go and I can actually set this up on my NoIP account. So I'm just going to go, we called it so we're going to use that, and we're going to use Let's Encrypt to get the cert for that. So let's go here to NoIP, and sign in. We can do this while Learn is starting. We're going to go to, I'm going to hit the dashboard, and then I'm going to hit to dynamic, and I'm going to say create host name, and what was it, Kaufman 3900 demo. Zapto.org. So we'll go ahead and pick that, and now we'll put in our IP address here. So DNS host A type record, and we're just going to hit create host name. So now we've got our DNS set up, and probably we're at a point now where this thing is well, it says it's running. So what's interesting is if we go to our Firefox, say, and Firefox will let us in to this system, you can see that Learn isn't actually up and running yet. So you don't want to SSH into the back end at this point and make any changes because Learn isn't up and running. So we can SSH in there with our PEM file, right? And we can see that the OS is up and running, but if we CD well, we can see that the Learn hasn't actually even started to write log files. And if we're here in the home directory, we can do that, and we're waiting for things to happen here. So we need to wait a little bit before Learn is even close to getting started, before we make any SSL config or domain name changes or set up the MySSL config file. So here I'm going to pause the recording while we wait, and we're about 9 minutes in. So we've spent 9 minutes just getting this far, but now we're going to wait. It's 11:19 my time in northern California, in Chico. That's considerably far north of San Francisco even. And so I'm going to pause the recording here, and we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, we've got this message in our start log now in the home directory, and notice it says it could take as long as 10 minutes to start with this new configuration. It's 11:22 my time now. So now if we go back to our Blackboard Learn log directory, we will see that we've got a standard. Now we see some logging there. We see standard out, standard error, and that's what we want to look at. And we're looking for a particular line, which I'm not seeing yet. And what I'm going to do is show you that line. We're looking for this line, Blackboard application server ready. And what we could do is we could just do this. We could just do a grep. And put quotes around it. And there it is. So it looks like our Blackboard application server is ready. Now, if we go to that IP address in Chrome, this IP, right? Or we could use the EC2 name. We could use that. Actually, let's go ahead and do that just for, I don't usually do this, but you could do it. If we take this and we go to our Chrome and we go HTTPS : and you have to use HTTPS. Learn won't run on HTTP. We get this message, it's not secure. And if we hit advanced, we just can't get to it. And the issue is that the certificate doesn't match. It's not a certificate that can be used. It's not been verified. So that basically blocked us in Chrome, and I haven't found an easy way in Chrome to get past this. But what you can do is you can go to your Firefox and do the same. And you want to do this. You want to make sure that this is actually working before you change your domain name or set up your domain name service. So now we see that we can hit the advanced button and we can say accept the risk and continue. That's what we're going to do because we just set up the server and we know it's ours. So we're just going to accept the risk and continue. And here we go. We can see we can get to the Blackboard Learn system. And to get in, you do administrator, and then you use, as the password, you use the instance ID. So we'll just take that we saved off and we'll copy it here. And now we're going to log in. We won't bother saving it. And we're logged in now. So the first thing you might want to do it's very helpful is go to the system admin. And how to administer a Learn system from this panel is it's all documented on help.blackboard.com. So I'm just going to show you like a couple things. Like you might want to set up a course. You might want to create a course, and we'll just call it, I usually call it by my initials. And the course ID and the course name can be different, but we're not going to do that. It's by default, original courses are set to available, and this is an original. Oh, we don't have Ultra turned on yet, so I'll show you that in a minute. So now we can just go ahead and hit submit. And now we want to go and create a user. And this is the user we'll use from here forward in this demonstration. This is my admin user. So if you're new to Blackboard Learn, users can have different system roles, and the role for administering the system is a system administrator role. So we'll show you that in 2 seconds, well, maybe a little bit longer. I'm going to give it a user. Give it all these IDs. Don't skip any of them. All right, now down here is where you set the system role, and we're going to go ahead and give that user the system administrator role. Submit. Oh, I didn't like my password, so I'm not going to save them. And we're going to hit submit. And now we've got our user M. Kaufman. We should maybe test that that works. All right, so that works. Now we still don't have a valid certificate. So now I'm going to show you that step next. So what you want to do is get out of your Firefox. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back here. We're still logged into the back end, and we set up a mySSL config file. I usually put spaces before and after the colon. I don't know that that's required anymore, but it was when this was originally built. And we're using going to use that. And we're going to use that. And now we right quit. And we hit enter. And now what we want to do is we want to reboot and start over, start everything over. And we need to wait again. So I'm going to go, right? I do sudo reboot now, and now I'm going to restart the server. And what's going to happen is a bunch of startup scripts are going to run that are actually going to take the SSL domain configuration into account and run and they're going to set up a configuration for Blackboard Learn to use that. So here we go. Now I'm going to pause again so that we can not use up recording time waiting for this to get started. I unpaused the recording just briefly to show you that, you know, the server's not up, so I'm not able to SSH in yet. I'm going to pause again. It's 11:30 my time. Well, now it's 11:31 my time, and you can see I can SSH is up, so I can get to the back end. And now we're on the system, but Learn still really isn't running. If we do less on start.log, and then we hit F here, capital F, you can see that it's still pushing the configuration to and starting Blackboard Learn. So Blackboard Learn really isn't up yet. So we don't really want to, I mean, if we try to connect to the server, let's go back to our Firefox, and we'll use, what was it? It was 126.218.147. Well, it looks like it's up, advanced, and we could accept the risk and continue. No, see, it's still really not up. There's a bad, we're getting the bad gateway message. So don't try yet. And if we go back to here, you know, it's still pushing the configuration and starting Blackboard Learn. If we go into our Tomcat logs again, and we yeah, see, things are still starting. Blackboard Learn is not up and running yet. We might see that message in a moment about that message that the application server is ready, but we're not there yet. I'm going to pause the recording while we wait for that. Well, there it is. It's ready, and somebody's at my front door, so I'll be back here shortly to finish this recording. Okay, we've seen the message that it started, and I'm sure now if we go back to our home directory and let's start.log, and we see that it's started. Also, you'll notice up here it says that it's configured. We've got Learn set up for our new FQDN, Kaufman 3900 demo.zapto.org, And let's go ahead and give that a try out here in our Chrome browser. We saw before we couldn't even use the IP address. I'm going to pause and see what happened here. It should be working. Look at that. I typed too fast, and I caught this by looking at the log file here. You see here it says it set me up for Kaufman 3900 demo.zapto.org, not 3919 demo.zapto.org. And you notice that is what I in fact put here, Kaufman 3900. So it's not, there's no 19 in there. I just needed to get rid of that, and there we go. You notice it likes our certificate. We're okay, and I can log in. With my user that I set up, and we're good to go. So the main points are, well, for myself, remember the name that you put in no IP, use that one. I didn't actually use, I used that exactly like that, so I guess it's a good thing I did a copy and paste. I think in my EC2, oh no, I put that there too. I guess for some reason I had thought I had 19 in there, but it's just 3900 demo.zapto.org. So there we are, and then the other points are to set up your MI and run it, and then wait and use your Chrome or your Firefox browser or some browser that'll let you log in without a valid SSL certificate, and log in and create yourself a user in a course, log out, and then go back, and after you're sure that Learn is running, and we also showed you how to look in your Blackboard Logs Tomcat directory to look for that particular message that it is up and running, the one that mentions Blackboard application server ready. After that's all up and running, you're sure your Learn is running, you've logged in, you've made sure that works using Firefox or Safari or some browser that'll let you ignore the SSL cert. Then go ahead and set up the MySSL config directory as described in the developer AMI document, and do a sudo reboot now, and then once again wait until everything is up and running. You can check your Blackboard standard out, standard error logs, and then also you can look for the you can look in the start.log directory to see that things got set up there. So thank you for watching. I hope you find this helpful. Have a wonderful day.